Imagine finding two bodies on a desolate, rain-soaked hill. There are no signs of struggle, no trauma, no poison found in their systems. They are dressed for a formal event, yet they are lying in the mud. Beside them, an empty water bottle, two towels, and crude, hand-cut lead masks over their eyes. This isn't a movie script. This happened in August 1966 in Brazil, and the cryptic note found in their pocket turned this bizarre crime scene into a decades-long obsession. It read, 1630, be at the agreed place. 1830, swallow capsules. After effect, protect metals. Wait for mask signal. What were they waiting to see that required radiation shields? And what was in the capsules that killed them without leaving a trace? Today, we are opening the files on the lead masks case. We will examine the flawless crime scene, the cryptic timeline, and the terrifying theories. You decide what really happened on Vintém Hill. The discovery was made by accident. On August 20, 1966, a teenager named Jorge da Costa Alves was flying a kite near Vintém Hill in Niterói, Rio de Janeiro. When he ventured up the steep, brush-covered slope to retrieve his kite, he stumbled upon a horrific sight. Two men were lying side by side in the thick grass. They were dressed in immaculate, formal business suits, covered by waterproof coats. It was an absurd outfit for hiking a treacherous, muddy hill in the middle of a torrential downpour. But the strangest detail was what covered their faces. Both men wore crude eye masks fashioned from sheet lead, the exact kind of shielding used to protect against blinding light or intense radiation. Police quickly identified the men as Manuel Pereira da Cruz and Miguel Jose Viana. They weren't spies or cult leaders. They were simply two electronics technicians from a town miles away. They were married, had families, and ran a successful repair business. They were more than just two strangers. Investigators pieced together their final days. On August 17th, 3 days before they were found, Manoel and Miguel told their families they were traveling to buy supplies for work. They boarded a bus carrying a significant amount of cash. Their last known sighting was at a bar near the base of Vintém Hill. The bartender noted that Miguel seemed incredibly nervous, constantly checking his watch. They bought a bottle of mineral water and kept the receipt, requiring them to return the empty bottle for a deposit. It was the act of men who planned on coming back. When the coroner examined the bodies, the mystery only deepened. There was absolutely no sign of violence, no defensive wounds, no bruises, no bullet holes. The toxicology report was completely clean. No known poisons, drug drugs or radiation poisoning were found in their systems. The only clue was the notebook. 1630, be at the agreed place. 1830, swallow capsules. After effect, protect metals. Wait for mask signal. The police were baffled. What were the capsules? If they contained poison, why didn't it show up in the autopsy? And why did they bring 2 towels to a mountaintop? Some investigators believed the towels were meant to wipe away sweat caused by a physical reaction to the capsules. Others thought they were to be placed under their knees while they waited for whatever they were waiting for. This brings us to the first perspective, the UFO connection. In the 1960s, Brazil was experiencing a massive wave of UFO sightings, and Vintém Hill was a known hotspot. Locals reported seeing a strange, glowing orange object hovering over the hill on the exact night the men died. Witnesses described it emitting a blinding light, the kind of light that might require lead masks to look at safely. Police later discovered that Manoel and Miguel were deeply involved in a secretive scientific spiritualist group. They had been conducting bizarre experiments in their hometown, trying to contact extraterrestrial beings. Were the capsules meant to heighten their senses for contact? Did they see something that literally shocked them to death? The second perspective is more grounded, but equally tragic. A deadly experiment gone wrong. The men were electronics technicians, known to build their own equipment. Some investigative journalists theorize that the capsules were an experimental, homemade psychedelic or a volatile chemical cocktail designed to induce a trance state, which they believed was necessary for their spiritual experiments. Because the toxicology screening in 1960s Brazil was limited, it is highly possible they ingested a rare or unstable compound that the coroner simply didn't know to look for. The mask signal might have been an expected hallucination, and the towels were to manage the intense physical side effects of the overdose. The final perspective is the most sinister: foul play. Remember, Manoel and Miguel left home with a significant amount of cash to buy supplies. When their bodies were found, the money was gone. Did someone in their spiritualist group lure them to the hill under the guise of an experiment? The killer could have provided the capsules, claiming they were part of the ritual, knowing they contained a lethal, untraceable toxin. Once the men were incapacitated, the killer simply took the money and walked away, leaving behind a bizarre, theatrical crime scene to confuse the police and hide a simple robbery. A UFO encounter, a tragic, homemade chemical overdose, or a calculated theatrical murder. The lead masks case remains officially unsolved. The bodies were exhumed years later for further testing, but the results were inconclusive. We have the flawless crime scene, the cryptic notebook, and the lead shields. But the truth of what Manoel and Miguel were waiting for in the dark, pouring rain on Vintém Hill died with them. As an investigator, you have the facts. What do you think happened? Let me know in the comments below. And if you want to explore more unsolved mysteries, make sure to subscribe.